over on the red side, we have Serega and Alexander. Or is that a sub? It's Serega, yeah?
Yeah, Serega.
Yep. And Cheer Up and Faust, who make up ANZ. And this is Hop and Glory. So, are you ready, Val?
I am definitely ready.
3, 2, 1, go. So what decks do we have to look at today?
So, in this last game, we have Cherub using a Euro core deck, I believe. Faust using a Commonwealth motorized, I think that. No, I stand corrected. A General motorized, I believe. Yeah, a blue General motorized. And M. Alexander is using his Soviet deck, the one he used in the last game we saw him in. And Sarraga is using his Soviet Armored, which we've seen him use in every one of his games.
So a couple of Soviet decks on the Red 4 side.
Yep, 2 Soviet decks, one of them being Armored.
Yeah, that's very interesting because all of the combinations of Red 4 side have been mostly Soviet and Eastern Bloc. Yeah, or Sovco and Eastern Bloc. We haven't really seen double Soviet much, so there's going to be a lot of Spetsnaz GRU, Spetsnaz, Motostrelki, all that kind of stuff coming out, and it's going to be interesting to see what other units they use. A lot of VDV-90, of course, and BRDM3s, they have a couple of those. Alexander, he's going to bring in some Zalos at the start, that's interesting. T72B, we see 2 T80UMs once again from Serega, the same start as he had another time he played this map, and they went down to Golf at the start. Over on this right side, it looks like there's going to be a lot of helicopters. We've got 1, 2, 3 Celtics, we've got a cannon in there with a recon and a couple of Cassiopeias, and a Panther with a infantry squad there. On this bottom side, we have a couple of Saxons with infantry and a Hachi Nanashiki, which will probably head down to Gulf and try and secure that. Although, if Serega goes the same way as he did the last time we played Hop and Glory, that sector will be taken over very quickly. In the centre here, you've got the Leopard 205s, but what were you going to say, Val?
I was going to say that Faust and ANZ are doing what I recommended that Heliog and Dirty D do on this map, and he's only sending one Hachi Nanashiki and probably a Fusilier 90 and a Saxon down to the bottom side, because they kind of know they're not going to take Golf, because it's so close to that Charlie reinforcement point, and it's just not particularly great to take. So they're definitely focusing up on this top side, potentially doing a 2-pointer push into Delta, I think, with all their motorized units. And yeah, we'll have to see how this pans out, because I feel like ANZ as a team has a kind of better understanding of the map and how it's played, just from seeing them in the past, in their performances with Nande as well. And yeah, so I'm actually quite excited. I think there'll be quite a nice 2-pointer push going in from ANZ.
Yeah, so they'll probably focus on that Delta point. It looks like the tanks are going to head straight through Hotel, maybe up across the bridge to Delta, and then we will see them secure Juliet and bring reinforcements from there, and completely almost bypass Echo, but just secure it on the way, and then put so much pressure onto Delta that Alexander is forced to reinforce that. And then Serega might actually also be forced to bring up a lot of stuff from Gulf, but it will be very hard for him to get the troops over towards Delta from Gulf, so he might be forced to attack into Foxtrot or something. But we are underway after only 3 minutes and 40 seconds. That must be one of the shortest deployments we've had in all of the games so far. So both teams ready to go, and it seems they have their strategies in place from the offset.
They definitely do. We've got these 3 Celtics coming in to prevent any kind of fast heli push into Foxtrot. Foxtrot even, not Foxdrop. And we see a Panther with probably some Rima 85, I'd imagine, going in to try and sneak its way into Delta quickly. And just a general, quite a large amount of helicopters coming out from Chirrup here. And all of these very, very fast motorized infantry units from Faust coming in. And yeah, it looks like they're going to go straight through to Delta instead of going to Foxtrot.
Yeah, so the Celtics coming up, they are going to find the KF-52, but the KF-52 with 7 or 8 health, sorry, did manage to shoot down one of the Celtics before it fell to the Celtic there. The MiG-23ML does hit its second infrared missile to take out the Celtic, but is going to be shot down by the FRP Roland 3s, or Roland 2s. Yeah, they are Roland 3s, sorry. The Cassiopeias coming up, and if they can get those autocannons on targets of the OSAs, then maybe they can do some serious damage here. Unfortunately, getting shot down.
If you have a look on the road towards Delta, from the bottom side, Sarika is bringing both of his T-80UMs. These guys have read this really, really well. And they obviously realise what's going on, and there's a big motorised push going on. And by bringing those two T-80UMs up there, I think they're definitely going to put themselves in a very favourable position to defend Delta.
Yeah, so instead of sending those two T-80UMs down to Gulf, they've just completely neglected the attack on that, and he's now bringing them up to face off against the 2A4, the 2A5, and the rest of the armoured units pushing across the open. We've got the XA-186NOs. It looks like they've realised that this is going to be very hard for them to take now, and they seem to be retreating their units towards Juliet.
No, they definitely do. I have to say, this is
Oh, Super Ettendards.
Super Ettenard. Yeah, I just saw that the tail end of that. That's a very nice pickoff for ANZ, and he escaped as well.
Yeah, it looks like that Super Etendard has got out, and we do see this engagement continuing between Delta and Juliet. The Leopards are still hanging about. T-64s providing a lot of fire and distraction for the Leopards. The T-80UM is moving up into gun range since it's used all of its ATGMs now, and picking off a few of the Jaegers. Yes, the GR7 is arriving. Will that destroy the T-80UM? Yes, it will.
Got out alive as well.
Yeah, the Tunguska coming out alive there. MiG-25 PD was brought in, but unfortunately did not get the kill there. And it seems as though you are getting ahead of me again, Val. Unfortunately, my game is lagging behind us quite a lot.
Okay, I'll try and keep slowing down and then speeding up to see if I can stay on time.
So, anyway, some M36 sluggers are engaging some T-62s, a little bit outclassed there, those old World War II tanks just coming in as distraction and to kill off some of the infantry. And the Leopard 2A5 is now moving up to try and kill off a few of those T-62s. So we are going to get a few side shots going on there to get some instant kills. At that long range though, would those T-62s survive a front shot? I believe they might just.
I don't think they would, because 23 AP against the 8 front armor would be a one-shot kill, I believe. And 23 AP is the, if I'm not mistaken, the minimum amount of damage it would do at max range to the front armor. So obviously, as the tank gets closer, the damage it deals will increase.
Yeah, I can't remember the formula, but it's like the tank's armor take away like the AP take away the armor divided by 2 plus 1 or something like that.
Something like that. I can't remember either. I mean, we need Nande. Where's Nande? They'll probably know, I think.
Yes, someone will know the formula in the chat, I expect. But either way, 2A4 sitting on the top side of Echo at the moment. Some Gevarmen are heading towards this BRDM3, which does get taken out by the 2A5 as it reveals itself. T-62s are now engaging the Gevarmen. And the Leopard 2A4 is now moving forwards to try and get some side shots onto some of these tanks. Marder 2 also coming in for cheer up. That should be a good unit to do some damage to these T-62s as well. Although, one thing that I'm quite surprised about is there's no close range AA support. There is a VBL Mistral trying to follow up, but if a Akula came along, then that would be a big problem for this push.
They do have a Crotal that's just manoeuvring behind that Mistral. But that Leopard 2A4, that's so unlucky having an optical failure. I believe people would call it a nice crit dude, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, it's got to be careful though as it tries to reverse. It's showing its side slightly to the T-72B. But the T-72B is going to go for the hit onto the Marder 2. So that soaked a shot. And the Leopard 1's still alive and will help take down the T-72 there. So the T-62 is now arriving and engaging the Leopard 1 at pretty close range. So still doing quite a lot of damage. And now the Zalos are coming in to try and finish that off. But they did miss. And the Leopard 1's still alive. But the second shot from the Zalo did take that out. The BMP-T is now going to help clean up this infantry pretty easily. And that Crowtail's got to be really careful there. They'll probably want to start to bring that back. Now in the bottom side, it looks like Serega did decide to secure Gulf. But they have not captured it yet. So no lead currently for the red side. However, if the UAZ does get in there, that's going to be a +1 income lead for the red side. And honestly on this map, I think it's much harder for the blue side to win because Echoes takes a lot more to contest than Gulf. Like, getting reinforcements down to Gulf for the blue side is a nightmare. Whereas getting reinforcements to Echo for the red side is not so much of a problem because they have more direct roads that head in that direction.
Well, it's not just that. I think the actual sector Echo does favour the red side, definitely, because this forest area, the only forest area in the sector, is generally red controlled. Whereas on the other side, there's ample forest cover for both teams to fight it out in Gulf, so that's a disadvantage. And also the fact that I definitely think that Foxtrot is probably easier to attack than Delta, really, because of the bridge crossings you have to do.
Yeah, so MiG-27K came in, tried to take out the Leopard 2A5, did hit a direct front hit, but only took down the Leopard to 3 health. The Kratal is now retreating as well, since it has run out of ammunition. But they have brought in the Iltis Kado, and that is giving ANZ a +1 income lead for the time being. However, there is a UAZ heading to Gulf as we speak, and that will nullify that lead.
A little bit of miscommunication, I think, of Alexander and Serega both brought CVs for Gulf, especially considering Gulf isn't a frontline sector and hasn't been contested. So, I mean, that second CV is, yeah, and I think probably just a bit of miscommunication, which is quite costly in the grand scheme of things. That's quite an expensive.
Well, I think Alexander could maybe turn his one round and try and take it up to Echo and get it in there. Although Alexander's buying another one for Echo, so maybe they just want to double cap Gulf and make sure that that doesn't get bombed out later into the game, because that's going to be their saving grace. As long as they can continue to contest Echo, then Gulf is the only other sector that is likely for ANZ to attack, because now with this far into the game, Delta is going to be incredibly hard to attack, like that 2-point sector there, especially across the bridges. So they're going to have to attack from the Echo direction, and as long as Steel Balalaika continue to contest Echo, it's going to be incredibly hard for ANZ to make it into Delta.
I think what ANZ has to try and do now, and obviously it's easier said than done because there's a lot of pressure being applied in the top side, is I think they need to try and push for this town just to the left of Foxtrot. Because if they control that, then they can actually make a meaningful push to try and cut off the Charlie reinforcements to Gulf. And no, they didn't need to double cap it, so that was a mistake, because then Alexander is just keeping his CV sort of back by that Tunguska M.
Yeah, well, I still think it's like we can act as a reserve, isn't it?
Yeah, it does have some uses, just a little.
And just a little bit of a waste of points. But the Su-25T coming in, it looks like it has sight on these Kratals, and it is going to be able to take one down, as it does take a hit from the second. MiG-25 PD coming in with its 4 missiles, and that's going to take down the Block 5, is that? And they are going to trade the kills there, the MiG-25 PD and the F-16 both going down. Su-25T coming in on the second Crotal and destroying it, leaving that top side of Echo with no anti-air. The Crotal behind the Bradley CFV actually has no ammunition left. So that Su-25T is going to continue to be a pain in the ass for ANZ as long as there is stuff for it to kill. Armada 2 going down there, another free kill, but now some heavier AA coming over in the form of the Roland 3s. So if this SU-25T wants to continue playing with fire, it might well get shot down. But the M3A2 Bradley just getting away with not being destroyed there by that missile. But here goes another one. Oh, again, the SU-25T off target. MiG-25 PD is going to engage the F4F KWS, uses all of its missiles and does not have a gun, so does get shot down. The KWS now can chase away this 25T and will not get the kill, as the 25T does get out alive. Now the Yak 141 does finish off the F4F, so that was a nice amount of air usage there by Steel Balalaika.
Quite nice. That SU-25T, once they kind of realised that AA was gone, they just really went for the jugular and just shoved it in there to try and get as many kills as possible.
Although that MiG-27K did come in, tried to kill the Leopard 2A4 and get shot down immediately by the two Roland 3s. So that MiG-27K not having quite the same luck as the 25T. And now it seems that Echo is under full control of Steel Balalaika, which has put them at a +2 income lead.
Steel Balalaika.
Balalaika.
I think this is such a bad position if you're in Z. Like this really sucks when you're in this position in a game. You didn't contest Golf because you wanted to have a great presence in Echo and Delta, but then that just doesn't go the right way. Because again, I mean, I think you can give credit to this game going the way it has to Saraga deciding to move his main forces up to the top side when they realised this was an attack into two-pointer in Delta. Literally sent, I think, one Razvedka squad into Gulf or something of the like, you know, a very small investment. Sent his tanks up to the top, sent his A up to the top, and without those there, I think Chirrup and Faust may well have actually managed to push into Delta, and that would have definitely put them in a good position, but very, very unfortunate that they're now in this position where they have to try and recapture, like completely recapture either Echo or Gulf, and neither of those are good options. Gulf is very hard to attack now because they've already ceded complete control, and they're actually pulling back from Echo pretty completely as well.
Well, apologies about my dog again, but the F4F there, looks like that Yak 141 wants a dogfight, as Alexander does bring that in. And this is a calm before the storm. There is literally no engagements going on across the map, at least for a good couple minutes. It looks like soon, though, these Zalos will open up on the M113s and the Panzer Grenadiers, and the 2A4 is going to start destroying those Spetsnaz Gru in the open.
I have to say, that's quite unfortunate if you're a Spetsnaz Gru soldier there, being thrown out onto the open field, but this Leopard 2A4 coming in to try and support this small push with the Panzergrund, but again, I don't think you can really get too much from this. I mean, that Leopard 2A4 actually, only on 2 HP.
Yeah, those Zalos did a lot of damage to those Panzergrunds, took out both of the squads, and the Su-27M is back and destroys the Leopard 2A4. So once again, we see the Su-27, the unkillable HGM plane, coming in, taking one hit and getting out. Pretty
the boy
standard.
Is back in town, that's for sure. He's ready to do some damage, and damage he's done.
Yeah, the F4F and the Yak 141 daring each other to engage. We've got an F16 Block 15 in there as well. So 2 air superiority fighters against 1, and it looks like Faust decided to get rid of his F16 and the Yak 141 decided to go back to base for some fuel. So we have a MiG-27 coming in from ML Alexander. Let's see if that can hit this 2A5, which is currently covered by the smoke from the HS-30. So good job there, but should reveal itself.
Well, the Leopard 2A4
oh, the Leopard 2A4, yeah. Unfortunately, though, the MiG did not get the kill onto the 2A4 and got shot down by the F4F. So that was not the best use of the MiG-27 there, as it does not get a kill, it gets shot down itself. But now we have some of these Podnos artillery pieces, which are going to help destroy these Gabarmen as they engage the Motorstrelki 90. Although, since those Motorstrelki did die and the Gaverman squad did not, that will potentially give Faust and Cheer Up a good position in that tree line at Echo?
It definitely can do. Definitely can do. Although I do have to say, it's the vision game is definitely going the way of Steel Balalaika. If you just take a really quick look at the vision, and the recon that Steel Balalaika has, they can see all of these units like that 2A5 pushing around the side. And Faust and Cherub are fortunately a little blind at the moment.
Yeah, it's all mainly because of that BRM 1K that's stuck in the side of that tree line there. It's exceptional recons, really spotting units from very far away. But if we go back to the neutral perspective, you can see that I think what's going to happen is this Leopard 1's going to come into Echo, and we're going to see what the same sort of thing that happened when Heiliger played and Königreich Bayern played. They stuck a Leopard 2 in Echo, and it basically was they were trying to smirch it, but it wouldn't die, and I think that's the same thing is going to happen again. But the Yak 141 there getting itself a kill. Look at this BRDM3, a cheeky little thing.
I was just looking at that.
It's gone down the river. It jumped into the river around Delta and just swum down the river. It's now taking out helicopters which are trying to kill it. The Cassiope just a little bit too strong there with its 30mm auto cannon. He's going to finish that off. But a nice try there by ML Alexander. That would have been funny if that popped up in Juliet and got a kill.
Well, I mean, that's a lesson to learn for everyone, really. If you didn't know, the riverbank is actually lower on plane than the ground on the sides of the river. So you can actually like sail your little BRDM3 all the way down the river, and it was lucky for Faust and Cherub that they actually had that Gazelle recon coming in. Otherwise, they might have missed it.
A MiG-27 came in earlier, did manage to get out because the Crotal ran out of ammunition, but SG-24 came in then, nearly got a hit onto the Gepard. It was turned off at the last minute, which just saved its life. And then the Ronin 3s managed to hit one of the two missiles as the SG-24 got out. So that's damaged and is going to make that have to be repaired for a while. The Super Etendard does get the hit onto the T-72 BU, but does not get the kill because the T-72 has a lot of front armor, and the OSAs do shoot that down as well. So there goes the Super Etendard. Cassiope goes down as well, and now we've got Moskaya and the BTRAs engaging the Gevarman. But down in the bottom we do see Stormers coming in with the Recon Leopard and a couple of Fusiliers, and they're all facing off against Motostrelki. I would not be surprised to see the Fusiliers and the Stormers win out against this infantry.
Yeah, definitely. It's a nice little advance they put together, and I believe they must have killed those.
MiG-27's going to come in for a free kill onto that Leopard, and so that's a nice spot that there wasn't much anti-air down there. Harrier GR7 coming in from the blue spawn. Looks like that's going to be heading to the top side to try and kill off this T-72 BU for good, as it is going to be continuously revealed by the M113s. So the Leopard 2A4 also coming up, that will engage the BU. But let's just see if these bombs can get on target from this GR7. As long as they keep line of sight, it should be good to succeed. Looks like they might have just lost line of sight, so the GR7 forced to back away there for now. The 2A5 pushing through this tree line, going to bump into some Morskaya Pahota 90. But this Flak Panzer Gepard, if it can get into line of sight, should be able to do quite a lot of damage. The GR7 has dropped its bombs onto the T-62s and takes out all three. A pretty nice strike there, especially considering he got away from the Tor that was firing upon him.
That's good. I mean, this is definitely what ANZ needs to do, because when you're backed into a corner like that and it's in a very bad position, you need to try and retake the initiative, and they've done that very well. They've pushed back into Echo, a wonderful mixed motorized, mechanized and armored push that they did. And at the same time they've been pushing into Golf as well, and forcing, because I wonder where those TATBs have gone. I believe that these TATBs were just sent back to be repaired, I think, or something. But either way, it's forcing points to be invested in Golf.
There goes a 284 as a MiG-27 comes in, and now the SU-27M does hit the Harrier GR7. That might cause it to die to the Tor if the GR7 is not careful. Oh, the Yak 141 coming in, but Yak 141 did trade with an F4F earlier, so both players lost airplanes there. A Flak Panzer Gepard being caught out in the open by the M, and that's another nice kill for that M. So still not dead, and now there's
The
a lot
boy.
of progress being made in Echo and in Golf. Golf, they've managed to get into the right side of Golf, and now that gives them a chance to bring in a command and actually contest Golf, which would give ANZ a +1 lead. Then in this top side, Echo, I think they've done an amazing job of actually securing Echo entirely and making sure to kill off Seraga's and Emil Alexander's reinforcements, because honestly it's pretty hard to attack down that road where all those buildings are in that forest. But SU-24 coming in there, killing off one of the FRP rolling 3s. Really nice kill. The MiG-27K, did that actually get a kill there?
It did kill a Gepard, I believe, and this is a really nice position actually for ANZ, because if they can push some infantry into this town block, just to the side of Delta, it will really provide a nice springboard where they can go to Delta. But this SU-25T has some words to say about that, I think.
Yeah, so there goes one of the Leopards. SU-25T is just freely flying about. If it can pick off this rolling 3, that will get rid of the last long-range anti-air in the area. So let's hope Seraga is not too shy, because he could get a massive advantage for his team if he kills this FRP rolling 3.
Could do indeed. If he takes this down with the T, which... Oh no, that missile went towards the
Yeah,
Panther,
the T is definitely going to have to get out of there now, since it is on 1 health. But some artillery coming in. We do see the M270 LRM now being used, which will stun a lot of this presence in that little forest area. The VDV-90 getting absolutely wrecked by the MG3s of the Stormers as they are caught out in the open. SU-27M does come in again. I think they're desperately trying to kill this rolling 3, and they do! The PTR Conquerors M squad does come out with the kill there onto the rolling 3, and that leaves them completely vulnerable. The SU-27M coming back round for a kill onto the Bradley, and things are getting ugly here for these vehicles. But the infantry still succeeding. None of these airstrikes have been pointed towards the infantry just yet. They really need a bomber to come in, and then they can start to turn this around. But currently the Volksjäger making their moves into the top side of Delta, and that's a scary position for the red side to be in. As soon as infantry can get that far towards Delta, then you're having problems.
You definitely are, and this really is a dangerous position for Steel Balalaika, because yes, they might be able to reclaim their complete hold on Gulf down in the south, but if ANZ takes Delta, this game is over in ANZ's favour, most likely. They're bringing in as much infantry reinforcements as they can. I think Gaverman in those 186 NOs fastest bringing in, along with some troops in the TPZ Fuchs. But there is a BU on the field in Delta, and that is a very scary prospect.
Yeah, it's definitely doing quite a lot of damage to the infantry squads. But yeah, down in the bottom, this small amount of Mostrelki is slowly picking off the rest of the infantry squads down there. And that will stop the Iltis Kado from contesting Gulf from now on, unless the blue side wants to reinforce Gulf even more. But that will take a lot of resources, especially considering they are making so much progress towards Delta, and they need to maintain the momentum up there, because otherwise, if they get pushed back now, I mean, there's no chance of them winning, because they are 300 points behind to the 30 points of, well, yeah, the 302 points behind to their 30 points, and unless they actually neutralize either Delta or Gulf now, they are not going to be able to come back in this game.
That's definitely true. I mean, this really is kind of victory or bust almost. We see an SU-24M even come in for a very nice bombing strike, but Faster managed to micro most of his Gever men away from that strike. There is a lot of reinforcement being pumped into Delta though.
Yeah, but look at these
squad after squad.
Look at these HGM like planes. They are literally having a turkey shoot. There is nothing to shoot them down right now. You've got a couple of flat pads of Gepards on the way and a Crotale, but in the meantime, literally all of the light or medium armor has been destroyed because there has been nothing to support them. fortunately, a lot of this infantry has remained untouched, or at least against planes. But now the reinforcing infantry coming down, the Moskaya Pohota 90 from Alexander, and the BMP-1Ds, I really like that choice of unit, getting those grenade launchers in there in order to help out.
Yeah, those grenade launchers do a lot of work, especially against infantry and buildings here, because they can just fire those grenade launchers and stun the enemy that they're shooting at, and they really are devastating to deal with.
Yeah, the MiG-27K came in there, managed to pick off one of the Kylers before the Gepards opened up. But now this LRM actually coming in and doing a lot of damage to some of this infantry, and definitely stunning and panicking a lot of this, a lot of these forces.
That's definitely true. Nanashiki actually managed to cheekily sneak down the bottom side of Delta, but unfortunately is out of ammo, which is a bit of a shame for him.
Yeah, an Su-24, a bomber, finally coming in. It looks like he might finish off that Jaeger squad. I think Varman just getting away with that. And that gets rid of the majority, or gets rid of the last squad, basically, in that town almost. Rafale does take down the Su-24 that was brought in to get rid of those Gepards. Yak-141, though, engaging the Rafale. It's kind of overcommitting, flying directly over the Gepards. One of them is dead now, though, as they do turn on and get sniped by an Su-24. That was a really nice save there for the Yak-141.
This has been quite a strong defense actually from Steel Balalaika, because when you lose that the top town sector just above Delta, it is very difficult indeed to hold it. But I mean, again, we see these anti-tank planes. This Su-27M has just been godlike this game. Just gone in, gone out, got the kills.
It's been having a field day.
A turkey shoot, yeah, like you said before, an actual turkey shoot.
It's just such good like air micro. Just the Su-27T now again just brought up, and it's trying to snipe that Gepard because they can see it. And every time it's just going to come around and try again until it gets that kill, and then as soon as that's dead, he can kill the Iltis Kato in Echo as well. Like, I mean, it has nothing to stop him. There's one more Flak Panzer there, but he can probably see that as well. And if that goes down, then again, there's nothing that ANZ can do, because without tank support, without AA, this infantry is eventually going to get killed by opposing infantry and tanks. That's just how it is. And also the other thing, if there's no AA, that Su-24M can come in again and just bomb the crap out of that infantry. We've got another Su-24 on the way. That's going to provide the seed. These Stormers are being picked off on the road by the 25T, and here we go.
Gepard wasn't turned off.
Yeah, the Gepard's not turned off, so that's going to go down. And there goes another AA vehicle, and they literally just can't afford to lose any more. They must be running out of reinforcements. Jaguar A comes in, gets taken down by a Yak-141. This push is really fallen apart for ANZ, and it's really unfortunate because it definitely had a lot of momentum. But now, like I was saying before, if they can't decap Delta or Golf, they cannot win this game. Steel Balalaika are 302 points over their 30. So they need to make a difference in at least one sector, otherwise it's game over.
They do. I feel like this is unfortunately quite done for ANZ. There's they've just pushed and pushed and pushed, and I feel like this is going to be like that game with Amberteam Putin and Nanda and Razman, where they keep trying and trying to attack into Delta, but now, fortunately, the springboard's going to happen, and all of these forces that Steel Balalaika have brought up and have managed to outtrade their opponents with can now just be pushed through, straight through into Echo.
Yeah, if we just look at the comparison of units, you've got this MiG-27K going to come in and take out that Leopard 1, easy peasy. That Gepard is not going to be in range for very long, so the MiG-27 might get out alive, yes it will. And yeah, all of these units, you got the Afghanskis, you got the BMP-1Ds, you got the Moskayas, they've also got some BMP-3s following up. This force is going to roll over Echo now because they won't be able to respond with enough units, and the units they do respond with are not going to be the correct ones now, because the Roland 2s are now coming up, the FRP Roland 2s, but it's unlikely that they're going to survive very long against the amount of units pushing up over Echo. And then what that's going to do is open the way once again for the air to come in and finish things off. So I think I'll bet that an HGM plane will kill that command eventually by the end of this game.
I think it might be, because honestly, the thing about this push is there aren't actually any heavy tanks, to be honest. And I mean, yeah, the heaviest tank they have is the T62, which is not heavy
quite
at all.
nice response there. The Rafale coming in is going to take down the 25T, although if that gets shot down, then that's going to get rid of the rest of the air superiority that the blue side would have had. Now this SU-24 coming in, they are going to have to micro these Rolands correctly, and they do. They turn them off and turn them back on.
Oh, and they take out the Su-24 as well.
Yeah, they managed to actually shoot it down, which is really, really nice. Su-24M, though, having none of it and picking off the 2A4. So that only heavy tank that was in range to kill off some of these T-62s is now dead. And that really opens up the way for this push to just continue rolling across Echo. All BMP3 is now going to start engaging the APCs on the top side. That looks is going to die very quickly. I'm pretty sure those Roland 2s are going to follow if they stay up there. Faust has mismicroed those. Oh, just brings them out of line of sight in time. KA-52 now being brought up with the infrared missiles.
Oh, taken down by the Roland 2s there.
And taken down by the Roland 2s, yes, just before the seed rocket hits. So now some MT-LBVs moving across the open, distracting that TOW 2 using its missiles up. The Leopard 1 as well also being distracted, so the Motostrelki 90 can continue to push forwards. I would like to see these BMP 1s go up with them, but it looks like Seraga's just regrouping those, making them easier to control. Now an Su-27M coming in from spawn again. That's,
and the
I reckon,
decap as well.
Yeah, I reckon is going to pick off this Leopard 1. But yeah, that BRDM-2U moving into Echo now is going to provide a +1 lead once again for Steel Balalaika. Let's see if this Su-27... Oh, can it get out alive? Yes, it can. Comes in, gets another couple of kills, and gets out. So now these Stormers are coming over the hills. Yeah, they walked into an ant's nest there. They're going to run away.
They really did.
The Motostrelki, I wouldn't be surprised to see them move up to the edge of that mountain there, ready for an attack over the edge. But currently, the Krotau and the Roland 2s moving dangerously forwards. Like, not entirely sure where they are going. They need to really bring those back because there is nothing to support them at the moment. If those BTR ATAs and the BMP 1s or even the T62s decided to move round, that would be some free kills on those Roland 2s and Krotaus.
It would be. There's 2 LRMs firing, but I feel it's a little too late, to be honest. It's kind of a bit unfortunate, really, because I think A and Z played pretty well for a lot of this game, but then they really just ended up playing. Well, they just got countered. I think that's the best way to put it. They lost their AA, and then the anti-tank planes came in with free reign, and then they brought A, and then when they brought A, the enemy tanks had come in and killed the EA, for example. And,
now we've got Buratino from Saraga, which is just going to make this Leopard move away, reveal its location probably. I mean, if it can't get up the mountain, then it might burn to death. It's definitely going to have to drive through the napalm to get out of that.
I can't decide which way it's going. It's going back and forward. I think it might have found a little safe spot there.
Yeah, it could have just done. But anyway, that's gonna... No, it's still moving. It definitely hasn't recaptured just yet. I think it's gonna die. Yeah, that Buratino strike was pretty much bang on target. And it means that the Leopard 1 is gonna go down. That's gonna secure Echo for Steel Balalaika and basically mean that they win this game. Although, no,
it actually survives. It survives.
Come on, it must be going down soon. I think that those mortars are trying to encourage it to move a little bit more.
Oh, there we go.
And finally, it burnt to death. Poor tank crew. Must have been pretty hot in there. But those LRMs, that would have been nice to stop that push earlier on. MiG-27 does come in, get a free kill onto one of those tanks. I mean, it doesn't particularly matter anymore. There's 4 minutes left on the clock, and now Steel Balalaika have the +2 lead, and they were already far ahead. So basically, a last-ditch push here for ANZ. If they lose this game, they are out of the tournament entirely. And yeah, it was all to play for really in this one, but unfortunately ANZ dropped the ball. They pushed a little bit too far, and they lost their momentum, lost a lot of key units to a lot of those HGM planes, and didn't provide enough AA soon enough in order to stop them losing those. And it's all come back to bite them in the arse as Steel Balalaika pushed back into Echo, and the springboard effect did take place.
The springboard effect, I like that. We should use that more often.
Yeah, just like pushing too hard
and then getting pushed back. Yeah,
getting pushed back. It seriously happened exactly the same way as it did to Razman and Nandem and I, and also Heiliger and Dirty D. So once again, Echo proving to be too hard to take for the blue side.
Downfall of blue side.
Yeah, it's been the downfall once again.
You know, I have to say, I for one welcome our new Russian overlord. I don't know about you.
Yeah, the Russian players have been doing very well.
Yeah,
RKKA doing very well.
Serbian.
And yeah, now Serega and Alexander really showing the power of the Russians in Wargame and their mastery of this game. So it looks like with 2 minutes left on the clock, Faust has decided to surrender, and Cheer Up will soon follow. And
GG!
GG! After 37 minutes and 16 seconds, Steel Balalaika take the victory over ANZ, and I think the kills to losses did definitely represent that game very well, with some brilliant kills with their air forces.
I think so. I mean, looking back at this game, I think it's one of those where, you know, if a few small things had gone right for ANZ, then they could well have done much better this game. I think if they'd have maybe chosen the opening helicopters, Cheer Up tried to send one of his helicopters with his infantry all the way to, you know, where the north side town is in Delta, where they managed to, you know, skirmish over near the end of that match, just above Delta, that small strip of town. He tried to send his helicopter there, and I just feel like if you're going to do it, you may as well put it in the actual Delta town. But again, just a few small things, and definitely, like when the decision from Sarega to send his forces to the top side, I think won them that game. That decision alone basically won them that game, really.
Yeah, definitely. Not overcommitting too much to that Gulf sector at the bottom, especially when the blue side didn't. They saw the double push coming in to the Delta sector, and they decided to defend that and basically take the initiative from the blue side, because as soon as the blue side saw those two T-80UMs come in from the bottom, they were forced to turn around those XA-180s and head back to their own sectors, which basically killed the push right there and meant that Delta stayed safely in the hands of Steel Balalaika. And then they played around that. They lost the initiative in Gulf for a little while, but they didn't lose the sector entirely, managed to take it back before any command unit arrived, and secured the victory quite convincingly in this game.
Yeah, I have to say, you know, congratulations to Steel Balalaika. ANZ, you know, maybe not the three-man ANZ that we saw in the tournament. I mean, the Nande, Mike, and Faust combo is very fearsome. But Faust and Mike, they've proven to be just even slightly mortal. Yeah, this game's gone to Steel Balalaika, and congratulations, because they've got first seed. I think they've won every game.
Yeah, they've won every game in the groups, and are currently undefeated. So, yeah, we'll see how they do going into the semi-finals. But they will take the first seed, which means they will face Team RKKA from Group A. So Ruskies versus Ruskies in a semi-final, and then it's going to be Nandyman versus who is it going to be?
It's going to be
WTF
WTF in
Space.
Space.